One, here we go. TNA Wrestling are about to cross that line again in April with two massive, massive shows that you can watch live on the TNA Plus app. Make sure you get it subscribed.
Yes,
Get
sir.
get on to that. My guest at this time is somebody that, if you've listened to my interviews in the past, you will know that every TNA star that I have, I wax lyrical about this man. More on the word lyrical later, by the way, because there's a question about that in a second. But also somebody that I said in 2025 will win TNA Championship Gold. And he has the chance to do just that at Rebellion. It is the youngest in charge himself. It is Leon Slater. How are you?
What's going on, Adam? How are we doing? I'm all good. I'm blessed to be here. I'm glad to be here.
We are glad that you're here as well. Thank you so much for taking some of your time out of your Friday to talk to us.
Of
Leon, look,
course.
you've been in TNA now a while. Just talk to us about how that has been for somebody also so young to be doing such amazing things over in America.
It's really been a wild ride, man, and it's been a roller coaster so far. It's been a lot of up and downs. It's been a lot of peaks and valleys, as they say, over this past year. And the craziest thing about it is, like, I started. My first match was the day after Sacrifice
Yeah.
2024. Come to Sacrifice 2025 and I'm main eventing the pay-per-view, right? So
Yeah.
like that, I think just that fact on itself kind of captured the whole essence of my TNA run so far. I started out on the explosions, paving my
Yeah.
way. I was being consistent, consistent, consistent. And I moved up to the TV matches, consistent, consistent, consistent. And then I like to think that just being that consistent over the past year and constantly improving or trying my best to constantly improve, right, has landed me in the spot I'm in right now, which is by no means where I want to end up being. This isn't my end point. This is just another step on my journey to get to the top. So it's been a very blessed year in TNA so far.
It's been great watching you as well, I must say. Obviously, it being English, as we all know, is always that little bit more
Absolutely.
sentiment, as you get there. But look, obviously, someone's so young as well, and I know you've been. I watch you around the UK whenever you go. I know you recently was at Atomic this past week, but
Yeah.
for an example, you at such a young age having to do those trips there and back from America. Did it take long to adjust to that? Because it isn't as simple as traveling around the UK like you normally do. There is there is your body clock and everything else. How has that been for you? Was it a struggle at first, or did you just naturally hit it?
So I think it's actually the inverse of kind of how you laid the question out. At
Yeah.
first, it was really easy because like although I'm still super grateful and super excited now, like
Mhm.
now the novelty of it is has worn off a bit. Don't get me wrong, it's still super, super cool that I get flown out to America to be a Hardy boy for the weekend, you know what I'm saying? But especially at first, like when I wasn't used to having so many American trips, I was like, damn, like I get to sleep on the plane, like I get to watch a movie. I get free food on the plane. Like this is luxury, man. And obviously, the more I've got used to it, and the more that novelty's worn off, it kind of just becomes like not run of the mill, but it becomes a bit more normal in like day-to-day operations. So I'd actually say it started to take more wear and tear on me now. Now that I'm doing it more, now that I'm on pretty much all the TNA shows that we have, on all of the TNA loops, like I'm traveling more. I've got more indies over there as well. So as the travel schedule is starting to increase, it's starting to take a little wear and tear. But like I said, I'm still super grateful because there's not many 20-year-olds that get to be flown out to America every couple of weeks and live their dream.
It must be an amazing feeling to do that as well as at such a young age. I want to talk about the Hardys in a minute because I want to get to that. And but first things, I do want to talk about TNA Plus. I mean, look, the subscriptions have gone crazy over this last year. There's no surprise, to be quite honest. I've been a fan of TNA since the very inception when it started. Over here in the UK, as you know, it's been a bit always been difficult to watch, but now with the
Mhm.
TNA Plus app, there is that anyone can watch it now. Is that kind of massively important in the growth of a company as well when you've got that application where anyone can watch it at any time? And also for someone like yourself, you're going to be getting fans now from all over the world watching the TNA Plus
Yes.
app, watching you, and just showing just how great TNA is. But how important is that app to TNA wrestling?
It's huge, man. I really can't be overstated how big TNA Plus has been, not only in helping our success, but helping my success, right? Because like you said, I'm getting exposed to a whole different audience from a whole different part of the planet that otherwise might not have eyes on what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that we've managed to grow TNA Plus to the level it is now, especially like so rapidly over
Yeah.
this past year. I think is just a testament to all the great work that we're putting in. Every week on Impact, every couple of weeks on the TNA Plus live specials on the pay-per-views. Like you said, there's a reason that TNA Plus is growing. And again, like you said, especially for folks like us in the UK, where TNA has always been a part of like a big
Yeah,
part of like UK wrestling culture. Because for those of us that didn't grow up with Sky Sports and couldn't watch Raw and SmackDown every week, there was TNA on Challenge, on Spike, and all those
yeah,
channels, etc. And now that's even more accessible for a whole new generation. So just like I was sat there at 9, 10 years old trying to scour TNA clips on YouTube or catch it up on Challenge, there's going to be a whole new generation of 9, 10 year olds now being able to watch everything. And that's the stuff now. That's the stuff when we backtrack the whole 20 years that we've been in existence, 20 plus years that we've been in existence at this point. And yeah, that's unlocked to a whole new generation. So I'm excited to see the next generation of TNA kids that comes around in 10, 15 years for sure.
yeah, definitely. So, is it? I know you're only 20, but does it get weird how you probably are a role model to some people out there? Does that feel weird at 20 years old thinking that?
It's wild, man. It really is. I'm in a very, very crazy position and a very like abnormal position. Like it is not normal, number one, for a 20-year-old to be, I guess, at this stage in in whatever profession they choose, right? But then like to come back here and I have people, whether that's down at Pursuit Pro Wrestling where I do a little bit of
Mm.
coaching, or whether it's just on the indies around here, like you said, like kind of looking up to me. It is a really crazy feeling because I'm still in that position myself where I still look up to pretty much everyone I'm around, especially on the TNA side, right? Like I'm still trying to pick the brains of the Hardys, of Tommy Dreamer, Ace Austin, like all of these guys. Joe Hendry's another one. All of these guys, I feel like I'm still sat under the learning tree, and because I'm still under the learning tree, I don't feel like I'm really at the position to have people under my tree yet, but I guess how a tree falls is the top branch, and there's a middle branch, there's a branch under that, and a branch under that, right? So it's certainly a position I appreciate, and it's definitely a position I don't take for granted.
Mm.
And whenever anyone asks me for feedback, I try and be as open and as honest as I can be, and just tell people what I've learned from my experience, which I've been very, very fortunate to have a lot of at such a young age.
Yeah, definitely so. It's been great to watch your growth. I mean, obviously from a close bit from the UK at the Rev Pros and all of that, and now
Yeah.
obviously watching it at TNA, it's been great. Two prone question quickly before we move on to probably one of the most dangerous matches that you're going to be in coming up very very soon. But a two prone
Yes.
question quickly. You mentioned the Hardys. So the first question about that it would be. Do you still pinch yourself? You know, a young Leon Slater watching the Hardys on the telly. Next thing you know, you're putting your paint on next to Jeff Hardy and coming out. But also, I'm going to throw this out there. And I did
Yes.
say I hadn't finished with the word lyrical just yet. Now, those TNA fans will know, and those UK fans will know that over here that you have a tag partner. You go by the name of Boisterous Behavior. And those of you that watched TNA Explosion a couple of weeks ago would have seen your aforementioned tag team partner, Mr. Man Like Dries, rock the world at him. But he had so the crowd were clapping along with him and whatever else. So I'm going to say the two prone question. Number one, is you still pinching yourself to be like the Hardys? And or to be partnering with the Hardys and that. And number two, it's more of a statement that I want your answer to. Bound for Glory, TNA Tag Championships, Hardys versus Boisterous Behavior.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, so part number one, yes, absolutely. Every time, and not even like when we do stuff on TV, every time I see them walk in the building, I'm pinching myself. I go, "Oh my God, that's Matt and Jeff Hardy." Um, Especially for a kid like me, where Matt and Jeff were my guys growing up. Like I think it's very clear the Hardy influence in everything that I do, whether that's my gear, whether that's my finishing move, right? Like everything, you can see the Hardy influence in my work. So not only to get the opportunity to tag with them once, but to get to continue to work with them, and kind of build that relationship with them, not only as performers, but as people as well, and just get to know Matt and Jeff, and for Matt and Jeff to get to know me. It really is a dream scenario, man. And again, like not many 20-year-olds get to work with their heroes. So I'm everything that we've been talking about, I'm just so, so grateful for all of these opportunities that I'm getting. And it really is a dream come true just to be around Matt and Jeff, and pick their brains on what they think of my stuff and what they think of stuff that's going on in the world of wrestling. Um, and I'm sure that Matt and Jeff would love to verse boisterous behavior at Bound for Glory because I know for sure we would. And I know for sure that I would love to see more of the recent TNA.
Yeah, definitely. I think we all would. That's for sure. But let's switch gears to something. Obviously, we got Unbreakable on April the 17th, but
Yes, sir.
something that's happening for you on the 27th at Rebellion. I think sometimes if you can put someone in a match, I would put you in the match that you're going into, which is Element X. It kind of suits you from what you're like. But how do you prepare yourself for that kind of, it's gonna, like, it's gonna hurt, and anytime you get in the ring it hurts, there's no doubt about it. I've done it very briefly, but for that particular match, what do you have to block things out? Is there things that you've got to take out in order to think, oh my god, because knowing you're going to do something stupid off the top of that thing, I can see it coming. But in your head, do you have to sort of, is there a mindset that you have to go in there with?
I think there 100% is. And I think my mindset is focused on the end destination of that match, which is becoming the youngest X Division champion of all time, right? That's been my goal since I got to TNA, and this is my second chance to make that a reality.
Hmm.
So I understand that Ultimate X is extremely dangerous. I've grown up watching Ultimate X. I've seen pretty much, I'm fairly confident I've seen like 80% plus of Ultimate X matches. Don't
Yeah.
quote me on that, but I'm fairly certain if you show me Ultimate X match, I will have seen it. So I'm pretty well versed in seeing what the structure can do to people and what people can do to it, right? And I'm number one, very excited to kind of make my own moment in Ultimate X and make my own moment with that structure, just like I tried to do at Sacrifice and trying to create something that's gonna live forever, you know? But almost more importantly than that, I'm excited that I'm getting another chance to make my goal a reality. I had my first chance back in October
Yeah.
against Speedball. I came up short. Now I have to compete with five other people in one of the most dangerous matches in TNA history, right? So it's a whole lot on my plate, but I'm working my way through it. I have a plan. I'm not going to reveal it right now, but a plan is in play. And I think if the plan plays out correctly, I'll be walking out and making history.
And then I can make sure I can put that clip up where last year I mentioned that you'd walk out with gold in 2025. I'll put
Yes, and I
it.
would prove you right. I would prove you right. That's bro, that's the real reason. I'm trying to prove
Of
Adam
course.
from Hit the Turnbuckle right. That's the
Yeah.
real reason.
Of course it is. But on that in general, though, some of the people have been announced, but obviously Matt Cardona, Vikingo, I
Yeah.
mean, of all people to come into that crazy structure of a match, him as well. But I just wanted to touch on Moose quickly, very, very quickly, because Moose, I think that some people just look at him and go, yeah, he's just a big guy. But
Mhm.
he's so much more than that. And watching TNA for so long, like, he can, obviously, he's a big guy. He's quick. He can do X Division stuff. He can take X Division stuff. Do you think that he maybe gets that incorrect rep that because they see him just a big guy that's all they think that he is, but he's so much more than that, isn't he?
100%, 100%. I think wrestlers in general, like this isn't just talking about Moose, but Moose is a prime example of this. You see the way someone looks, and you immediately put them into this category, right? Like Moose, he's a big guy. Oh, so he won't be able to move. He won't be able to do this and that and that. And even for myself, right? Like I'm tall, but I'm a slight built guy, right? Like I'm well aware that I'm not Brock Lesnar, right? So I think when people see that and when people see the Swanton 450, they go, okay, flippy guy, he can't talk, he can't do this, he can't do that. And again, I feel like I kind of break that mold. And Moose is another one of those people. He's an anomaly. He's an alien, right? Like a man that size, that looks like that, that's that jacked, that's that tall, with that NFL experience, should not be able to do the things he can. But that's why he's been so successful, right? He's going on, I think, 200 days as X Division champion now. He's a former world champion. He's a very, very successful man. And I think he wouldn't be if he let people put him into that box that they immediately try and put him in, right? I think Moose definitely has a chip on his shoulder, wanting to prove people wrong. And just like myself, I think Moose sees the Ultimate X as a great platform to show people what he can do and to prove all of those haters wrong in such an iconic structure like that.
Yeah, but he's not going to because you're going to win the Ultimate
Absolutely.
X. You're
Yes,
going to win
absolutely.
that. Final question before we wrap up, Leon. Look, we all know NXT is a part of TNA. It has been. It's been a massive influence for both sides of the party. It's helped TNA. It's certainly helped NXT. But I'm sure you're going to get this question. I'm sure you've had this question as well. You've crossed the line in the independents. You've crossed the line into TNA. If you were to cross that line into NXT or even beyond that with the partnership, who's your eye on?
I think there's only one answer, right?
Uh-huh.
It's the answer. I think my answer is the same as everybody else's answer would be to this question. It's Javon Evans, no
Yeah.
question. I think as two people that are almost mirroring each other in separate environments, two 20-year-olds taking our respective promotions by storm, I'd really be interested to see who the best young wrestler on the planet is, right? I firmly believe it's me, and I'm sure he firmly believes it's him. And I think there's only one way to find that out. Um, Apart from Javon, as another topic, I would love to mix it up with Oba, or Trick, or whoever ends up holding that NXT belt. I would love to get my shot. I would love to mix it up with Ricky Saints. I would love to mix it up with the Fraxian boys. Like they have a very, very stacked roster, just like we do. But
Yeah.
if I was to pick one, I think we should decide who the best young wrestler in the world is.
There we go. Get that on there. Get it on the TNA Plus. And while we're there, make sure, again, you finally download that TNA Plus app for
Yes,
Unbreakable,
sir.
for Rebellion, for your weekly impact. And speaking of that, I can just quickly run through this week's TNA Impact. Macklin against Eddie Edwards. We've got Mustafa Ali, Ace Austin, Cody Deaner
Ooh,
against one of your guys, Moose. You're going to be in action this week, of course, trying to get revenge on Ryan Nemeth after
I'm
that
gonna beat
heinous
her ass out of Ryan Nemeth. You get me?
gonna beat him after what he done to Matt and Jeff Hardy. And the Rascals
Yes.
take on JDC and Brian Myers, also
Oh, yeah.
of the system. But Leon, it's been fantastic to have a chat with you. Good luck if you're in Unbreakable. Good luck. Good luck at Rebellion. I want that clip to go out, so make sure you bring gold
Hell
home.
yeah.
to
Hell
us.
yeah. Thank you so much, Adam. I appreciate the time.
No worries. Big thanks to everyone at TNA as well for the opportunity. And of course, on the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. Catch us, HTT Buckle on X, HTT Buckle on YouTube, Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast on all social media outlets. And this is TNA on X as well. Until next time, everybody, he's been Leon Slater. I've been Adam Cousins, and you've been watching the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. Cross that line, stay safe, and goodbye.